There's no shortage of legendary baseball duos. Baseball history has many examples of great players that become even greater when hitting in the same lineup. For example, back in 1960 and 1961, Roger Maris won back-to-back MVP awards, but in each of those seasons, Mickey Mantle, Maris's teammate, finished second in the MVP race. In 1961, the pair pushed each other to new heights when Roger Maris broke the single-season record for home runs with 61, and Mantle finished the season with 54 home runs of his own. There was Hank Aaron and Eddie Matthews, Ty Cobb and Sam Crawford, Mays and McCovey, and nothing can top Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig, who combined for an incomprehensible 24.5 WAR back in 1927. But the modern game has seen its own impressive hitting duos. In 2000, Jeff Kent and Barry Bonds finished first and second in the NL MVP voting, but perhaps the greatest season posted by two teammates in the last several decades belongs to Ken Griffey Jr. and Alex Rodriguez back in 1996. How good were Griffey and A-Rod in 96? A-Rod, at 20 years old, finished with a .358 batting average, 36 home runs, 123 RBI, a league-leading 54 doubles, and a 9.4 WAR. Ken Griffey Jr. hit .303 with 49 home runs, with 140 RBI, a 9.7 WAR, and won a Gold Glove in center field. But let's take a step back. The Mariners acquired both Griffey and Rodriguez as #1 overall picks in the MLB draft. Ken Griffey Jr. was drafted in the 1987 MLB draft as a 5-tool high school phenom out of Archbishop Moeller High School in Cincinnati, Ohio. Griffey made his debut on April 3, 1989 at the age of 19, and he never looked back. In his second season with the Mariners, Griffey began an 11-year streak of being named an All-Star and a 10-year streak of Gold Gloves. In 1995, Griffey broke his wrist making a spectacular catch in center field, which forced him to miss nearly 3 months of season, playing only 72 games. But he made it back for the last several weeks of the season and helped the Mariners to their first playoff appearance. In the playoffs, the Mariners won a thrilling division series against the Yankees after being down 2 games. In that 5-game series, Griffey hit .391, slugged 5 home runs, and scored the winning run, leading the Mariners to their first postseason series win in franchise history. Entering 1996, Griffey and the Mariners were looking forward to having a fully healthy junior on the field for what would become one of his best seasons. By that time, Griffey was an international superstar and one of the faces of the sport. In 1996, Griffey began an incredible span of 4 seasons in which he hit 209 home runs, leading the league 3 of those years. In 96, the Mariners were also looking forward to having the best prospect in baseball, Alex Rodriguez, play everyday baseball at shortstop. Rodriguez was drafted out of high school as the first overall pick in the 1993 draft. But like Griffey, the hype around Rodriguez was beyond that of a typical first pick. Rodriguez was considered to be one of the greatest talents to ever enter the draft. In fact, A-Rod has frequently been named as the best prospect of all time, even considering all prospects after his time. For example, in 2021, Baseball America named Rodriguez the best prospect they had ever graded since they began in 1990. Leading up to the draft, some scouts went as far as naming A-Rod the best prospect since Willie Mays, and he was called things like the most complete prospect I've ever seen and a plus in every area of the game. Rodriguez was compared to Cal Ripken Jr. and excelled in the minor leagues as soon as he entered professional baseball. A-Rod played at the major league level in parts of the 94 and 95 seasons, but hadn't realized his full potential or played everyday baseball before 96. But even with the hype around the young shortstop, A-Rod's 1996 season shattered all expectations. The Mariners hoped to compete in 1996 after their first playoff appearance in franchise history in 95. Griffey was fully recovered from the wrist injury and entering into his prime. Edgar Martinez and Jay Buhner were coming off career seasons. For most of the year, the Mariners placed A-Rod as the second hitter in the lineup, with Griffey third, Edgar Martinez fourth, and Jay Buhner 5th. Rodriguez had the advantage of hitting in front of one of the best players of all time. Griffey similarly benefited by hitting in front of Hall of Famer Edgar Martinez, who hit .356 the year before. Opposing pitchers could not avoid A-Rod and Jr., and the pair made the most of it. Rodriguez started the season right, hitting a walk-off single in the 12th inning of the Mariners' opening day game against the White Sox.
Hero. Right center. The ball game is over, and Rodriguez is the hero.
After a solid April, A-Rod went off in May, hitting .393 with 7 home runs and 25 RBI. Rodriguez also demonstrated his ability to be an elite fielder. The Mariners duo was incredibly exciting, and opposing teams had a difficult time figuring out how to get past the two stars. Perhaps nothing highlights that better than an incident against the Orioles on September 1st, 1996. For context, A-Rod had torched the Orioles all season, hitting .509 with 5 home runs and 20 RBI against the Orioles in 1996. On September 1st, the teams were playing the final game of a 4-game series. Rodriguez went 4 for 4 in the first game and 2 for 4 in the next 2 games. The two teams were competing for a wildcard spot and separated by just 2 games at the time. Before an at-bat, Orioles manager Davey Johnson requested that A-Rod's bat be confiscated and sent for an inspection at the league offices. But A-Rod had been using Ken Griffey Jr.'s bats for much of that season. So Griffey, who was in the on-deck circle, handed A-Rod his bat, and Rodriguez made the Orioles pay.
2-2 pitch, and high in the air, and deep to left center field. Anderson back at the wall, and it's gone.
In fairness to the Orioles, each team was allowed to request 1 inspection per game, and the Mariners had asked for an inspection of Bobby Bonilla's bat earlier in that game. But the episode showed that the A-Rod-Griffey pairing was must-watch TV. In 1996, A-Rod finished with a .358 batting average, 36 home runs, 123 RBI, 15 stolen bases, and 215 hits. One of the best seasons by a shortstop ever, and at 20 years old. The Mariners had a competitive season in 96, but missed the playoffs by a few games. The Rangers won the division, which was significant because the Rangers' best hitter, Juan Gonzalez, won the MVP award in one of the closest MVP votes of all time. Looking at the numbers, Gonzalez outperformed A-Rod in power figures like home runs, RBI, and slugging. Alex Rodriguez, however, led the league with a .358 batting average and 141 runs. Gonzalez received 11 first-place votes to Rodriguez's 10. He barely squeezed past Rodriguez with 290 total vote points to A-Rod's 287. In today's baseball atmosphere, Juan Gonzalez would not have won the MVP. At age 20, A-Rod obliterated Gonzalez in WAR with a strong 9.4 number that blew away Gonzalez's 3.8 WAR. Juan Gonzalez played 102 games in right field and 32 games at DH. While Gonzalez's power numbers are impressive, the voters gave a lot of credit to Gonzalez for contributing to the better Rangers team that won the AL West over the Mariners. Griffey, meanwhile, finished 4th in the MVP voting. But Griffey led the league with a 9.7 WAR. Griffey's 96 season is often overlooked because it was followed by Griffey's MVP season in 1997. But Griffey's 9.7 WAR in 1996 is the best of his career. Jr. finished with a .303 average, 49 home runs, 140 RBI, and a Gold Glove. Together, Ken Griffey Jr. and Alex Rodriguez combined for a 19.1 WAR in one of the best combined seasons by two teammates in all of baseball history. Griffey and Rodriguez were first and second in the American League in WAR, and Griffey led all of baseball, narrowly beating out Barry Bonds. Griffey went on to win the MVP in the following season, hitting .304 with 56 homers and 147 RBI. Ken Griffey Jr., of course, was a first ballot Hall of Fame selection in 2016. Alex Rodriguez went on to top his 96 WAR in his final season with the Mariners, and eventually won 3 MVP awards with the Rangers and Yankees. How good was the Mariners duo that season? incredibly good. Perhaps the best baseball has seen in many, many years. In 2018, Mookie Betts and JD Martinez led the Red Sox to a World Series title and finished first and fourth in the AL MVP vote. The pair combined for a WAR of 17.4. When Jeff Kent won the NL MVP in 2000 and Barry Bonds finished second, the teammates combined for a WAR of 14.9. In 97, Jeff Bagwell and Craig Biggio combined for a 17.1 WAR. Mickey Mantle and Roger Maris combined for a 17.3 WAR in 1996 when they hit that total of 115 homers and finished 1-2 in the MVP race. WAR, of course, is only one stat to consider, but it highlights just how well the young superstars played in 1996 and how well-rounded both players were. Both Griffey and Rodriguez displayed a complete set of skills, hitting for average and power, demonstrating impressive fielding and throwing ability, and above-average base running. The two played together for 3 more seasons after 1996, but their combined WAR in those seasons never came close to their production in 1996. In total, Griffey and Rodriguez combined for a 331 average, 85 homers, 263 RBI, and a 19.1 WAR. Is there a better season by two position players on the same team since Ruth and Gehrig? Let us know who you would put above Griffey and A-Rod in the comments. And please subscribe. And thanks for watching Sports Pantheon.